Right now on Good Morning America First Look, the first deaths blamed on the intestinal illness linked to lettuce, as a new report indicates when Taco Bell was first notified about a potential problem.
Breaking overnight, an arrest in connection with the devastating wildfire disaster in Washington state, where nearly 70,000 people have been forced to evacuate.
With gas prices high because of the war in Iran, President Trump with a new message to the oil companies. You're making too much money.
The mother on trial for the deaths of her 3 children, what she wrote in her journal months earlier about needing a break.
Singer Ariana Grande speaks out for the first time since announcing she's stepping back from public life. Her message to fans.
Plus, what's old is new again, the return of MySpace.
And close encounters caught on camera, the highly unusual shark caught off the Northeast. And in the West, another close call with a bison.
From ABC News, this is Good Morning America First Look.
Good Tuesday morning, everyone. I'm Sophie Flay.
And I'm Hannah Batal. We begin with the parasite outbreak linked to lettuce and the first deaths reported from the outbreak.
This comes as a report sheds new light on when Taco Bell was first notified about a potential problem. Here's ABC's Lionel Moisehas.
This morning, the parasite outbreak linked to lettuce turning deadly, with 2 deaths now reported in Michigan, where we've seen the most cases.
There have been over 11,000 cases in this outbreak, and we've only had 2 deaths in patients that are clearly medically fragile. So it still remains an illness that, for most patients, we are able to treat successfully as outpatients.
Officials say both had significant underlying health conditions.
There are some patients that might not be able to withstand the dehydration that can come with severe cyclosporiasis.
Nationwide, more than 18,000 people have gotten sick in 45 states. The FDA has linked the outbreak in Michigan and 8 other states to iceberg lettuce, sourced by Taylor Farms in central Mexico and served at some Taco Bell restaurants. But now, new questions about whether customers could have been informed sooner. Bloomberg reports Michigan health officials were in touch with Taco Bell's parent company, Yum Brands, weeks before customers found out. Officials reportedly reached out July 2nd to discuss intervention or notification to reduce future cases. It wasn't until July 17th when Taco Bell issued a public statement saying it worked swiftly to remove the lettuce based on ongoing conversations with public health officials. As many families change their eating habits, some avoiding lettuce altogether, concern in North Carolina about other fresh produce. Officials have not identified the source for the more than 700 cases there, but say many of those sickened reported eating parsley and cilantro. As for the Michigan outbreak, officials say the number of new cases being reported is slowing, a sign that contaminated products may no longer be on the market. Hannah, Sophie.
Final thanks. Breaking overnight from Washington state, an arrest in connection with one of the destructive wildfires devastating in the Spokane area. 700 buildings, including homes and businesses, have been damaged or destroyed. A 37-year-old man is now held on suspicion of arson. Authorities say the man was seen bending down in the grass and was later found with waterproof matches and a lighter. Meanwhile, new images show the area before and after the fires broke out Saturday. More than 10,000 acres have burned with no containment.
When the flames came racing through here, it sheared off the water lines into these homes. Now, 2 nights later, still water is pouring out of most of these homes. It's complete devastation.
I just feel hurt. I feel lost. Every memory of my children are down there. Every memory of my grandchildren are down there. Right now, I just feel empty.
Nearly 70,000 people have been forced to evacuate. Calmer winds are helping the firefighters, but hot and dry conditions return later this week. Meanwhile, in the Northeast, more travel delays are expected as the region dries out from flooding rains. People from New Jersey to Connecticut getting trapped in floodwaters yesterday. And in Plymouth, Massachusetts, a woman was killed by this falling tree. Elsewhere, we've also learned about severe weather in Colorado overnight. Nearly 24 planes had to be diverted from Denver to Colorado Springs, with heavy turbulence reported on multiple flights. 5 passengers needed medical assistance. We're told they are in stable condition.
Now to gas prices amid the war in Iran. President Trump with a new message to oil companies. He says they're making too much money. ABC's Karen Hua has those details. Karen, good morning.
Sophie, good morning. The president is taking on the oil companies, and at the same time, he's warning Iran this is their last chance they have to sign a peace deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. As President Trump issues another ultimatum to Iran, he's also picking a fight with America's biggest oil companies.
They're making too much money. I don't like it.
Exxon and Chevron just reported blockbuster second quarter profits, thanks to oil prices surging higher during the war. Chevron alone made $12 billion, nearly 5 times what it made a year ago. Drivers are paying the price. Gas prices are now averaging $4.09 a gallon, more than $1 higher since the war began.
They're going to give some of that back to the public, and they better cut the retail price, the consumer price.
An industry trade group is firing back, insisting those higher prices are driven by global supply and uncertainty around the Strait of Hormuz, and not by any one company. That uncertainty traces back to Iran. The president says he called off what would have been the largest military attack since World War II, and is now giving Iran one more chance to make a deal.
I want to give them every last chance before decapitation.
But Iran yesterday denied any negotiations with the U.S. are underway. Meanwhile, the president is focusing on a controversy in Washington, taking aim at one of his closest allies.
Really disappointed with Jeanine Pirro. She folded like an umbrella.
Trump lashing out at U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro for dropping her case against former Olympian David Hearn, who was charged with vandalizing the newly renovated reflecting pool. After Trump spent nearly $15 million in taxpayer money to paint the pool blue, the paint started peeling. Trump blamed vandals, but provided no evidence. Authorities arrested Hearn, who had stopped on a bike ride and dipped his hand in the water. But Pirro dropped the charges Friday, acknowledging documents from the Department of the Interior indicate the damage was, quote, the result of a botched installation and not vandalism. Sources say Pirro met with the president late yesterday, fueling speculation she could be fired. But overnight, she appeared to still have her job. Hannah?
Karen Hua, thank you. Authorities in Russia say a Ukrainian drone hit a crowded beach, killing 7 people. Officials say the drone crashed and burst into flames at this resort on the Black Sea. The local governor accuses Ukraine of a deliberate strike. It's unclear what the drone was targeting.
We turn now to the mother on trial for the deaths of her 3 children. Jurors at the Lindsay Clancy trial outside Boston heard about entries in her journal months earlier saying she was, quote, desperate to get a break from taking care of everyone. Emotional testimony in the trial of Lindsay Clancy, the Massachusetts mother accused of killing her 3 young children, as jurors consider whether her mental state at the time makes her criminally responsible. Prosecutors argue Clancy planned and carried out the murders. They say she then tried to take her own life by jumping from the second-story window of the family's home, leaving her paralyzed. Clancy admitted to the killings but pleaded not guilty. Her lawyers argue she was suffering from postpartum psychosis, a severe mental health condition they say left her legally insane. In court Monday, lawyers read entries from Clancy's journal, where she described feeling overwhelmed.
It's like I'm desperate to get a mental break from taking care of everyone. My mind is trying to make something physically wrong with me. My mind never shuts off. It's constantly thinking of the next thing someone needs. I can't shut it off.
Her defense says those writings show a mother struggling with severe postpartum psychiatric illness. But prosecutors argue the journal shows she wanted to escape her current life and point to testimony about how Clancy appeared in the days after the killings.
In your conversation with Ms. Clancy, did you notice any internal or external signs of psychosis?
At the time, I documented that I did not note those.
On cross-examination, the defense pointed out the doctor met with Clancy only once and argued psychosis can present differently from person to person. Testimony resumes today. If you or someone you know is struggling, you can call the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988.
Quick thinking saved a driver whose truck got stuck at this railroad crossing in Pennsylvania. So police say the truck was pushed into the crossing by another vehicle. But a firefighter and bystander were able to pull the driver to safety just seconds before the train slammed into his truck.
Glad they're okay. Time now for your Tuesday weather.
Good morning. We're going from flooding rains yesterday to fabulous weather across the Northeast. We're dry. The humidity's down for a day, and there's still tropical feel in the Southeast with showers and storms, and that starts to make it Northeast again as we go through the second half of the week. Showers from the Great Lakes into the Southwest, and we're concerned once again about the wildfire smoke. It's unhealthy air from Washington and Oregon all the way out into the northern plains, unhealthy air to Seattle to Portland, and all this heat will go through the end of the week. It builds back into the Northwest. That's your forecast. I'm ABC News senior meteorologist Lee Goldberg.
Coming up, the death of a popular UFC fighter who was just 34.
Also ahead, a congressman facing new pressure to resign over domestic abuse allegations.
And later, another close call with a bison at Yellowstone National Park. A scary moment in Florida. A small plane forced to make an emergency landing on an interstate in Pensacola. It just missed hitting a metal pole. A student pilot and the instructor were on board. Officials say the engine failed.
UFC fighter Alan Nascimento has died. The Brazilian flyweight was found unresponsive after suffering an apparent heart attack in his sleep. He made his UFC debut in 2018 and won 17 of his 21 matches. His last fight was in June. He was just 34.
Now to politics and the high-stakes primary today that could determine what path Democrats take in the hopes of winning back power in Washington.
It's the election that could herald the future of the Democratic Party.
It has now become an election of national significance.
Today's Senate primary in Michigan pits progressive Abdul El-Sayed against moderate Congresswoman Haley Stevens. El-Sayed is running on a platform that includes Medicare for all and abolishing ICE. He's been endorsed by Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
ICE cannot be reformed. ICE cannot be retrained. ICE needs to be abolished.
El-Sayed has been the target of attacks, not just from Republicans, but from establishment Democrats, too.
If you're Chuck Schumer and want to keep doling out corporate money to elect people who are going to do your bidding, I am so damn dangerous.
That establishment, including Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, is lining up behind Stevens. A pro-Israel group and its affiliates have also spent nearly $30 million backing Stevens. Israel has divided the candidates. El-Sayed has called the war in Gaza a genocide and accuses Stevens of being a reliable pro-Israel vote. But his critics accuse him of fueling anti-Semitism.
Nobody will fight harder against anti-Semitism than somebody who intimately understands what it's like to be discriminated against because of how I pray.
Stevens calls herself a proud pro-Israel Democrat and says she won't allow outside money to buy her vote.
I have been very clear, consistent, and transparent, and I have continued to be. I want to see long-term peace. I want to see a two-state solution.
El-Sayed has a double-digit lead in the polls, but when it comes to the general election, polls show Stevens running stronger against the Republican candidate, Mike Rogers.
Ohio Congressman Max Miller is facing growing calls to resign from members of his own party over domestic violence allegations. After Miller's former father-in-law, Senator Bernie Moreno, claimed Miller is unfit to serve, Politico reports at least two more GOP senators voiced support for Miller stepping down. Miller denies the allegations. Meanwhile, in a separate development, former White House press secretary Stephanie Grisham, who once had a relationship with Miller, has filed for a temporary restraining order. Coming up, the hero bystander who helped stop the gunman at this In-N-Out restaurant describes the shooter's surprised response.
Also ahead, the very unusual catch in the waters off New England. Authorities are searching for a motive after the deadly shooting outside the In-N-Out restaurant in Twin Falls, Idaho. Two of the three people killed have now been identified, including customer Christopher Clonch and Ashley Garibay, a restaurant employee. The man who pulled out his own weapon and confronted the gunman says he and his girlfriend had just pulled into that parking lot when the shooting began.
He seemed unusually comfortable aiming that rifle at those cars, and then as soon as some rounds started coming at him, everything changed.
Police say the suspect, 24-year-old Chad Williams, took his own life. The College of Southern Idaho says he was impeached from student government and never graduated.
We turn now to the summer of sharks and a different kind of catch, shining a spotlight on warming ocean temperatures.
It's the kind of catch usually seen in the Caribbean, not off New England. Two brothers fishing on a Massachusetts beach got the surprise of their lives, reeling in this 5-foot tiger shark, a tropical species scientists say is showing up farther north because of warmer ocean waters.
I saw those horizontal, lines, indicating that it was a tiger shark, which was super cool. Immediately I started yelling at my brother. I was like, it's a tiger shark. And he was in disbelief.
Tiger sharks can grow more than 15 feet and weigh up to 1,400 pounds and are famous for eating almost anything, License plates and shoes have been found in their stomachs.
It's a southern warm water species being caught on rod and reel off the beach on Cape Cod. That just doesn't happen.
The water temperature is getting up into the high 70s and will eventually hit the low 80s. And that's, perfect for these little juvenile tiger sharks.
Sharks aren't the only ones on the move. Black sea bass have also been pushing north because of the warmer waters. And New England fishermen say they're threatening the region's most valuable catch, the lobster.
Meanwhile, shark sightings are also up this year on the West Coast. A new autopsy confirms a shark bite killed a woman swimming near Monterey, California last December.
Another tense moment in Yellowstone National Park. Tourists recorded a bison inching closer to a group of people. Suddenly, a child took off running. The bison follows for a few seconds before slowing down and turning away. That child is okay. The close encounter comes just weeks after a 65-year-old man suffered multiple broken bones after a bison tossed him in the air. Bison can run 3 times faster than people.
Coming up, the relaunch of MySpace.
Plus, Ariana Grande speaks out for the first time since announcing she's stepping back from public life.
Time to check the pulse. We begin with the Powerball.
There was no big winner in last night's $753 million drawing, so that pushes tomorrow night's jackpot up to $786 million. The last winning ticket was drawn way back in May. Next, singer Ariana Grande speaking publicly for the first time since the announcement that she's stepping back from public life after her tour ends.
She addressed the decision during her concert in Chicago, saying it was not an impulsive decision. She said people need a break sometimes.
It's a decision that was made from a thoughtful and empowered place. I heard that my fans were worried that negativity was ruining things for me, but I just have to say that could not be more the opposite. This is not what that is.
The announcement came after concerns about her health and appearance. A rep saying Grande is taking a break from public scrutiny.
Meanwhile, a first on the Billboard Hot 100. The top 5 slots right now are all held by country songs. Ella Langley's Choosing Texas is number 1. Morgan Wallen, Taylor Swift, and Stella Lefty are the others in the top 5.
Next, what's old is new again. MySpace may be coming back.
Yeah, millennials are perking up for this one. So back when some were teenagers, MySpace was the top social network. And despite what some folks might think, it actually never went away. The owner confirms they are planning a relaunch. They say they want to create a platform that's less algorithm-based and not as focused on endless scrolling. Finally, a birth announcement at the Dallas Zoo, a bouncing baby boy.
The newborn African elephant weighed in at 230 pounds. Mom gave birth after a 21-month pregnancy. Top headlines next. Checking more top stories, growing concern about cyber attacks targeting U.S. water facilities. The attacks possibly linked to Iran. Sources say facilities in up to a dozen states may have been affected. There's no evidence of any widespread disruptions, but some utilities were forced to operate manually after their automated systems shut down.
Leaders of the top artificial intelligence companies head to the White House today. They're discussing a framework for testing the cybersecurity abilities of advanced models. Executives from Anthropic, OpenAI, and Google are expected to attend.
A Colorado police officer who shot and killed a man during a traffic stop in Aurora has been indicted on second-degree murder and manslaughter charges. Video from Officer Matthew Neely's body camera captured that shooting.
Today's weather, nice in the Northeast, thunderstorms in the South, scattered showers in the Midwest, and wildfire smoke causing hazy skies in the Northwest. Wildfires continue to burn around Spokane.
And finally, celebrating Halloween a little early.
Here's Danny New.
Okay, stand back. You might not expect to go trick-or-treating when there are still 4th of July decorations up.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
But it's also not every day that Soren turns 11.
He was so happy. I mean, he was on a mission.
A few weeks ago, this neighborhood in Alabama came together to help Soren enjoy one of his favorite activities on his special day, with 83 different families volunteering.
But we didn't get to them all. We got to 70 houses.
I was going to say, it was going to get tired at some point. It was a long day.
He wasn't tired.
His mom, Leah, says this took months of planning and coordinating.
Take the cake.
Good
job! Happy birthday!
She first got the idea because Soren, who has autism, just loves trick-or-treating and would often put on one of his costumes, grab a bucket, and then
He would say, okay, time to trick or treat. And he would be repeating that over and over.
But what Leah did not expect was for so many of her neighbors to immediately respond to her Facebook post on the community page, and that none of them would take her up on her offer to provide the candy herself.
We got you a whole bag here.
Oh my gosh, thanks guys.
Instead, many families surprised Soren with not only his favorite candy, but also Lego sets and Play-Doh. Not to mention, many of the homes were decorated with happy birthday signs.
We severely underestimated how many bags we needed.
But maybe the best part was that Soren got to meet so many of the other kids in the community, and now neighbors are coming up to him all the time.
My overwhelming feeling was really just like relief, because I know he's safe here.
By the way, guys, Leah said that many of those kids who opened the door have now told their parents that they want to go trick-or-treating this Halloween with Soren.
Oh, I love that. He's going to need a bigger bucket next year.
Yeah, definitely. That's for sure. That's your Good Morning America First Look.
Have a great day.